Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, cool. So let me pull up the dashboard. Don't stream it. That looks good. All right, let me start announcing. Welcome to the stream. I'll wait for a couple more people to join before I start actually playing. So this is rFactor 2, the Formula E car on launch day. I basically went out of the pit lane on a different circuit, just like, okay, it works, it feels not wrong. I just downloaded rFactor 2, so the wheel setup is not complete, which means I know I don't have any mapping of the energy deployment profile. I don't have any mapping of the regen braking profile. So that'll be interesting. So yeah. So to Montreal if I can. Well, this is actually Montreal. The problem is that this car is really built for a Formula E circuit. So this Hong Kong circuit's what I'm going to start out with. But the Montreal circuit, the Montreal Formula E circuit is not in this game. I don't want to say yet because it's still not entirely certain that there's going to be a race in Montreal because they kind of put the circuit in a part of the city where they really shouldn't have. So they're doing the 2017-2018 season circuits. So I don't know if a 2016-2017 Montreal Formula E circuit will be in here. But yeah, the Montreal's Formula One circuit's in here. And people who are watching the stream, I can see things in the Twitch chat. I actually broke out a laptop. So I have a ThinkPad that is just showing me Twitch chat. That's all it's doing. And it's running at 79 Celsius. What the hell? What's burning the CPU? Oh, Service Host is doing a ton of shit because it hasn't run in a few weeks. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go out and do practice. So, using the... do I want to do the show car? I think they're all the same. Actually, I kind of like Andretti's new livery. I really don't like Audi's livery. Dragon's is boring. That one looks better. It's still boring. DS versions is okay. The Jaguars kind of cool. The Renault got boring this season. This really doesn't matter. Which was it? I'll take the Andretti. And Twitch is not what's destroying the CPU on the ThinkPad. Windows Update's what's destroying the CPU on the ThinkPad. I literally just have the Twitch chat popped out and I closed the Twitch tab because why burn the bandwidth? I'm streaming 1080p this time, 30 frames per second, 5 megabits. So, yes, I know how to stop Windows Update, but it needs the updates done anyway, so I'll let it run, and it's not going to slow down the chat. Okay. This may take a while to load based on the time I loaded another circuit. 26 max vehicles, really? Formula E is capped at 20 drivers. And actually, that command, does that even work on Windows 10? Or does some watchdog process say, what the fuck are you doing, and start the Windows Update process again, or service again? Yeah, I was afraid of this. I think it has to compile the assets on first load. Because I noticed the first time I loaded a different circuit, it took a really long time for things to start. You know what? Let's start my putty session on here so I can see IRC. I should have my... I'm going to go to the Reddit Formula E sub where someone posted that, hey, this was available, and was like, oh, hey, I'm downloading it. And I'm going to say, now it's downloaded, and now I'm going to stream it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just watching the Twitch chat. I'm not watching the anything else. Okay, so settings. I can overwrite that. That gives me some engine brake map settings. Are those buttons unmapped? Then I might do that. Save. Okay. Am I going to do anything 180 kilowatts? So that's going to be a normal run. Regen mode. 8. I guess I'll figure out what that means. I can tweak weight distribution. Okay. Let me get that box out of the way. And there's the pit lane speed limiter. Green light, cool. And of course I go straight off the track. Okay, I think that volume will do. Jesus. This is just practice. And I've literally never driven the circuit before. Also, if you want to say things, say them in the Twitch chat. I'm not paying attention to IRC. Jeez. Apparently they're not doing pit stops like how they do them in Formula E. Stone, Formula E's worst driver. No shit. Fuel 27 seconds. This car doesn't take fuel. For fuck's sake. Okay, cool. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, we're going to go back to the garage. First pit stop in practice. So yeah, this thing is an electric car with a 2-speed gearbox. Okay, so I completely blew the turn, but I found it. Shit. This car... This is not actually a mod, this is first-party content. This is launch day for the content, though. From what I've heard, these cars are pretty fucking janky. And my frame rate just went to complete shit. Wow, I've fucked the suspension. Part of the problem is I'm not familiar with this track. Okay, we're going back to the garage. Like I said, this is why we're doing practice. Lift off. So yeah, the last time I streamed, I was at Spa, which is a circuit that I'm fairly familiar with. Actually, if this car's gearing works the way I think it does, it's just going to be leave it in second. Yeah, that seems to work okay. Oh, that was pit in. Well, I'm going to get a drive-through for speeding in the pit. Alright, I have to go to neutral manually. Put in, because I actually need it. I could use a circuit map. I think, yes, here's pit in. I get to sit there for being naughty. I didn't think to check. I probably have another. Yeah, this track sucks. Yep, I have another penalty. Okay, we're gonna go back. Let me go settings. Auto detail FPS. I don't get a fucking track map? Really? You're thinking of the Nürburgring, not the Nürburgring. It's like even... Now that is actually faithfully simulated real car suckiness. The weight distribution on these cars is extremely rear heavy. Yes, this is a very tight circuit. You know what? I actually really fucking hate this track, so I'm going to leave it. And what do we have? Ooh. Okay, that actually annoys me that it's 1966. Because, granted, I'm not running the DX11 beta, so there is that. Ooh. Lime Rock Park. That... I think I might do Lime Rock Park. It's a interesting circuit. It's a tighter circuit, which suits this car better. Yeah, let's do all chicanes, because this car needs it. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to Lime Rock Park because I can't stand the Hong Kong track. I need to get more familiar with the car. Okay, what the fuck? Why am I in the parking lot? How the fuck am I getting lost? Are they really starting this shit from the parking lot? Where the hell? What the hell? Oh, this is like Connecticut somewhere. Okay, so it wants me to go left. So it then want me to go here to get on track? There's the pace car. Fuck it, I'm on track. Driving to Target Simulator 2017. shouldn't have done the all chicanes layout, because that's not the layout I've done in Sims. So here's the problem with the Driving Force GT. It's several years old. It's been discontinued for several years. I know I've seen the... Okay, yeah, I'm just going to leave it in second, because if this is set up like the Renault in Season 2, then it is just a leave it in second car. I know I've seen the G29, I think it was, for... $200. Of course, I instinctively downshifted to first. I need to just leave it alone. This is a very tail-happy car in real life. The Steam controller doesn't give you force feedback.
That was a 108.33.
I like how even the AI is getting the tail out. I know it has haptics, it doesn't have force feedback. The haptics are not enough.
The lap was a 104.49.
That's an improvement. Now if I don't understeer off the track... These cars were not set up for high-speed sweepers. The Season 5 car, which is the 2018-2019 car, is going to be a hell of a lot better. There are load cell pedals is a really high-end thing. And they are much better for brake pedals. The Driving Force GT has a fucking terrible brake pedal. Your best bet is just run ABS and just stand on the thing.
That was a 107.53.
This thing is a handful. Of course, I put the laptop on my right side, my right eye is a lazy eye, so it's incredibly distracting to actually look at the chat. But, oh well. You'd be surprised at how tough these cars are. Also, in default setup, these cars don't need much aero. Where the hell is my pit? I actually want to turn... No, I don't want to turn off the heads-up display. Not really. Okay, so regen mode maxes out at 9. Engine mode maxes out at 9. Sim Raceway, which is based on this fucking engine, looks better than this. Actually, it might be the rFactor 1 engine. Why do I have a sudden frame rate drop? Well, it cut detail at 50 frames per second. And I need to disable the screensaver on this. I left default options, whatever those are. So I think it's time to start messing with the setup here. Yeah, but I'm losing frame rate, so let's do a qualifying run on 200 kilowatts, regen 9, full radiator tape. Okay, I know I can do better than that. So what's interesting is I've been fixing a mod someone did to add this car, well, a previous version of this car to Assetto Corsa. It doesn't feel that different. Tail happy as fuck! Slap's not going to completely suck.
That was a 103.90.
Actually, that did kind of completely suck. But, you know what? Where is the option to go to? We're going to go to qualifying anyway. I'm going to go to the garage. Trim out most of the downforce because this is a fast track. Send as much weight as far forward in this thing as I can. Make the thing not handle like a complete pig. And fuck it. Okay, so I think I see what I have to do here. So somewhere there's going to be an opening. Wait. Wow! That's silly. That probably is actually accurate, like, for getting from the garage to, or from the paddock to the pit lane. But I wasn't expecting to start from the paddock, I was expecting to start from pit lane. I've never been to this track in real life, okay? Oh right, I have like no downforce because I'm trying for straight line speed because this track needs it, but okay, we can turn the engine right down and save some power. forgot how short this track was. This is the straight.
That was a 1:15.39.
Enter pits to avoid exceeding lap allowance. Oh shit. Jesus, this thing is fucking... yeah, let's try that. And for no reason at all, my frame rate's gone to shit, so now it needs to drop frames. Okay, I went into the pits. Oh, okay, I see. So you only get 3 laps. So I'm going to start in last place, which realistically I'm going to be in last place. So 5-lap race. So I need to turn that down to 180 because that's the most allowed for the race. I'm going to leave the arrow alone. I don't need to worry about lift and coast. That might be stream.
The lap was a 1:11.43. The lap was a 1:03.69.
So someone did a pretty terrible mod for Assetto Corsa.
The lap was a 1:05.7.
I've been trying to make it less terrible. Decreasing radius corners can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Tires are pretty toasty.
That was a 1:14.
All of the above.
91.
Fuck, this corner every fucking time. Yet they're running off of guesstimates in a lot of cases. What, this or some of this is just I'm sucking. I mean, I would say for everything I've heard about driving these cars, obviously I haven't driven one. For my performance, no one would let me drive in one. Oh, if you have rFactor 2 already, the Formula E pack's like $12. Or I think it's like $6 for the car. Holy fuck, the track is terrible. Um, and I don't think it is. I don't know if it's the rFactor team's fault or if it's just the track is terrible. The track is terrible. The race is actually over. I'm just doing technically the cooldown lap. So yeah, right now the Formula E pack is one track, one car, although I think you end up getting... well, okay, so what I will say about the cars... Okay, so what I will say about the cars is they're simulating what feels like the Season 2 Renault. It's a 2-speed gearbox. The different cars are just different liveries, so you're not actually getting the different powertrains. I would say for like the $5 or $6, buy the car. The Hong Kong track is... Well, although, if there's more tracks coming, because I don't know how they're going to do pricing on additional tracks on top of things, the Hong Kong track sucks. And I don't know if it's actually because of the Hong Kong track, or if it's because they did a bad job modeling it. I'm not running the DirectX 11 beta, so things may look better if I do that. But yeah. The car feels like how I've heard it described to drive them. So now that I'm not actually driving, I can explain in a little more detail. Someone did an Assetto Corsa mod that based on the Season 1 car. There's a third-party rFactor mod, rFactor 1 mod, that has the Season 1 car. As far as I can tell, the rFactor 1 mod, I couldn't actually get it to run properly, but it appears to have been the source of data for the Assetto Corsa mod. The instrumentation is buggy. Just how they did it in the Assetto Corsa mod. The setups make no sense relative to reality. I've been playing with things and correcting some things. I'm not actually good at modding, but I would say the car drives better. I actually stole the tire model off of the McLaren P1. The problem is that it doesn't... Or because I needed a high-performance road tire, because that's pretty much what the Formula E tire is, especially in Season 1. But... yeah, it doesn't get temperature into the tires. There's no public data on what the gear ratios of the Formula E car actually are. Of the Season 1 car. Everyone had the same gearbox that season. But I can't find what the ratios actually are. So I've pretty much left it at the assumptions that were made by the original third-party rFactor mod developers. They're not actually sensical assumptions, or they're somewhat sensical, but they're not. They can't be real. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of this. And we're going to fire up Assetto Corsa. So I think the Formula E mod that you can find for Assetto Corsa is like version 0.62 by WCF, I think it is. By the way, I was doing a 100-lap race the other day. I think a couple of people watching the stream were watching that. At Spa in a TS040. Holy hell, is that car easier to drive than the Formula E car. Yeah, I mainly do things in Assetto Corsa. That's the sim I'm most comfortable with. Now, AST, that's right. Spa is not suitable. If we're just going to do a practice run here, yeah, that's good. Damage doesn't work. It's better. It's still shit. And I don't do online because I'm not that good. But yeah, the AI is still shit. So that max speed there that you probably can't read because this is only 1080p and I'm running 4K. 239 kilometers per hour. It should be 225. It should be 225 based on the calculated tire info. I have to have a liter of fuel in here, or shit doesn't work. Let me do qualification power delivery. Leave the arrow alone. Those were just assumptions that the mods maker did. I'll leave everything else alone. Weight distribution in this one is fixed. Yeah, the Qualcomm sponsors the series because they're trying to push some wireless charging technology for cars. Hang on while I adjust my force feedback because I forgot the steering is way the fuck over boosted. Starting to get some weight in the steering. That'll have to do. Logitech Driving Force GT with the stock terrible pedals. As you can see, this is quite tail happy. Because this is simulating the Season 1 car, you get a 5-speed gearbox instead of the 2-speed that was in rFactor. Oh yeah, the traction control has real trouble working because I'm actually using the KERS model. And Assetto Corsa's traction control was not designed to work on the KERS. But the regenerative braking actually seems plausible as far as how much power it's putting back in. And I can actually on the fly change my power delivery. So now I'm limited to the 150 kilowatts that a Season 1... I think it was 150. Maybe it's 170. That Season 1 was limited to in race conditions. I think Season 2 is 170. Yeah, that's right. Season 1 was 150, so that's what I set this for. Season 2 was 170, and then Season 4 is 180. So let me put this back on qualifying power. Yeah, when you add 50 kilowatts, helps a lot. What's sad is, I just paid $32 for rFactor 2, and then another $12 for the Formula E mod, or for the Formula E pack, not mod. I'm having more fun lapping this piece of shit. That traction control's not working, which I don't think you get traction control for real anyway. So you'll see the traction control light lights up, but it's not doing anything because what it's doing is it's trying to cut engine power, but this car doesn't have a fucking engine. Well, it does, but it's making no power. I forget if I mentioned the other problem is in Assetto Corsa. Well, let me just demonstrate. So let's say I've run up against a wall and I need to back out. Nothing happening. The most you can do is floor it, bump it into reverse, because there's some inertia that it's simulating in the engine. And you can trick it into getting moving backwards. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But it drives... If you're going forward, it drives. And you don't care about traction control, it drives fine. And there's some glitch with ABS that I think is related. I haven't gone too far into it. So the motor, I made it... What I did... So the motor in the actual Season 1 Formula E car is out of the McLaren P1. Yeah, I would say that they probably do need to... The way they handle regen is also really fucky. They could more accurately simulate it because they should know how much kinetic energy the car has elsewhere in their physics model. You can set the regen to some implausibly high values where basically touching the brake pedal instantly fills the battery. I would say that it would make sense for them to refactor to actually keeping track of kilowatts and kilowatt hours rather than... Because what it is they have it so that you have so many seconds of boost. It's counted in time, which you can work backwards from there, but then the regen, it's some crazy scaling factor off of that it actually cares about tire diameter and Well, note that Assetto Corsa has hybrid system simulation. What I'm doing is I'm simulating a 0 horsepower engine and one hell of a hybrid system. Like, in this model, I think I might have it set to, like, I forget what units it's in, but yeah, this is actually annoying me that I'm finding this easier to drive. And I'm not much of a modder, but oh, I think you specify, like, in newton meters of torque. So it's a torque map. So I think I have the engine torque map just zeroed out. So Assetto Corsa has a Supra. It's in the Japanese pack. So yeah, this thing feels about as tail happy as the rFactor 2 Formula E car, which is actually good because that means, yes, it is DLC. It's like $6, I think, and it gets you actually a lot of cars. We're just going to do a burnout. Oh, you Canadians. So, yeah. And I wonder how many people I linked this to joined the stream while I was fucking around in the Assetto Corsa mod and thought I was playing the yeah. So I'm just gonna do like a quick run back in the rFactor 2 car because I'm just going to confuse everyone. Is there a track that I'm familiar with that Bathurst is so fucking bad an idea in this car. I'm not that familiar with it either. So anything I'm familiar with? Spa in 1966 I'm not familiar with, and at least I think that's Spa. Oh, what's the default track in rFactor? Like the default track in the rFactor 1 demo? Laguna Seca is not actually. Is it under a different name? No. You know what? I will do Bathurst, even though it's a really terrible idea in this car. Because I just want to try it on a different circuit. It has... I'm going to set it for 200 kilowatts, which is 200 Link's 386 golf courses. Conversion in convert kilowatts to... It's 268 horsepower and 880 something kilograms. So under 2,000 pounds. There. Give me all the power, give me most of the radiator tape. Full regen. Leave the arrow alone because I'll need it for some things on Bathurst. Send as much weight as far forward as possible. E1, M1 in Assetto Corsa. That would be fucking amazing. See, it makes it up the hill. Not quick, but it does. Too wide through here is not terrifying at all. Should leave it on there. Completely missed the breaking point. I didn't say I was good at this. What? Okay, cool. Regen actually works. One thing I will say, I think... I also don't have force feedback tuned on this. But yeah, there actually seems to be regen management. This is definitely a far more thorough mod than... I will also say the graphics are better than when they had Cloud Sports official. So Cloud Sport did a Formula E mod last year for the E-Prix events, which was basically professional this.
The lap was a 2:34.77.
It looked like total ass. It looked far worse than what's been released with this mod. And keep in mind, I'm not running the DX11 beta. I've seen video that looks a hell of a lot better than this. Yeah, this car is not meant for Mount Panorama. So you probably could take some of the data, bust this one apart. However, this is trying to simulate the last year of this generation of car, and they've changed quite a bit. But I'm sure I could take some data from this and reverse engineer it to make the Assetto Corsa one better. The Assetto Corsa engine still would need some changes to make regenerative braking work properly, or maybe some mods. I'm also not driving how these would actually be driven for efficiency. You'd normally be doing a lot of lift and coast, which I'm not. On Assetto Corsa, I don't know. On rFactor 2, I know it. Part of the whole thing with rFactor, the rFactor family, is that it's incredibly moddable. Interesting, you shouldn't be. I'm not hearing it. There goes my front wing. That's an optional part, I don't need it. Weight savings. Now I'm just being a dick. To the AI. You'll also notice I'm down to 29% battery after 4 laps. Which, yeah. Apparently, I have a horn on a fucking Formula E car. But yeah, I heard that. But I have a horn too, which is a different sound. So is which my driving or simulation flaws? I keep going wide there. And apparently I picked up damage. Okay. I think I've had enough fun for tonight. This thing is difficult to drive. And I don't think it's a simulation. What other cars do we have? Just something to get a little bit better feel. Okay. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, the TS040, hang on. Test. Okay. The TS040 and I just messed up my volume settings is what happened. Was a hell of a lot easier to drive. Needs more Chrysler TC by Maserati mod. with every available engine. There's what, 2 versions of turbo 4-cylinder in that car and a 3-liter V6. Ouch. Oh, right. This is a car that actually has speed, so you actually have to slow down. Wait, this is a Honda, so VTAC just kicked in, yeah. Second CPU, you mean? Okay, so I'm just not good at that corner. Wow. Okay. Well, that's been fun. The Formula E car really is fucking hard to drive. And there's Qualcomm making Snapdragon suck and putting their name on terrible handling single-seaters. So, yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I've had quite enough fun for the night. I'll probably end up practicing more with the Formula E car in the future because I would like to actually figure out how to not suck in it, but it is a pain in the ass to drive. So, alright. Have a good night.